Now all I was going to talk about was if I got my hand here, say, like this, maybe I could point or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, or actually no, fingers. Okay, it's sort of a bit bleached out here, but there you go. There, if I did my hand like this, it's going to be turned slightly, but there you go. Then I could say, well, I've got a shadow colour, a light colour, and then a sort of a deeper shadow colour. So suppose I just mixed them really simply right from the beginning. Okay. Actually, this would probably do for that. And then I'll mix a lighter version of that. Okay, put a bit of yellow in it. Bit of red, bit of yellow. You know what, I need some more yellow here. Oh, there's some. Great. Oh, put a bit more yellow in.
So you're not sticking to the Zorn then, James, if you're using a bright yellow?
I'm not here as out of convenience, but I am mixing Zorn colours effectively. Every time the sun comes out, all this adjusts. Okay, but I've got a shadow colour here, which is going to look lighter on the palette, and then I've got a deep shadow colour that I can put underneath, and then I'll do a light colour, I guess, which I guess I'll put here. Oh. There, it's a sort of a pinky light, and then I'll mix a very light colour as well, which would be more like a more of a yellowy light, I guess. Okay, so we've got 4 colours there. Now my point I was going to make is I would start with my shadow colours. So suppose I put my hand out here. Yeah. What's a good way to do this? Yeah, I'll just maybe like this. So I've got these lines. Now what I'd want to do is to do lines to describe the fingers and stuff like that. Okay, I think a darker colour behind might help. What would work? Sorry about this. There you are. There's a darker colour to go behind, that's fine. Okay, so what I'd do is I'd get my mid-tone colour first. Okay, and I could just do all of the big shapes where there's sort of shadow. There's some there. It sort of comes under there. There's a bit in here. Oh, there's definitely some there. And here, I've got rather square hands. Okay, could do an oranger version of that in places, but same brush. Let me get that darker colour in now, and I'm going to say, well, there's some here, and it's very vague and rough, and then there's definitely some there. What about down here? I'm not sure about down here. Oh, there's a bit in there. This could all be a lot redder actually. Let's make it much redder. Okay, yeah, warmer colours there. And here and here. And I'm not worried too much about sort of going over the edges of things, but once those darker colours are in, I can go back up on, yeah, there's some dark there. Oh, there's a bit in here. It's vaguely round there somewhere. There's a bit. Okay. Now that's that's very vague. Let's get a blue or something to sort of create some of the shapes around. That's still working. Let's use that. I'm thinning it a bit just to make it go a bit further. I'll lighten it and I'll make it a bit grayer, but there you are. That's blue background. Okay, so if I were to go on from here, I'd say, okay, this is sort of this shape here. So there's a thumb sticking out there somewhere. Okay, so there's some of these shapes in between, but not entirely sure where they go. Not being too fussy about it. What's this doing? He doesn't even know. Something like that. Okay, so there's sort of a hand shape there, very roughly. Okay. Now what I can do is I can go in with the lights, and the lights will hopefully. This is all pretty fuzzy and inaccurate, and doesn't need to be spot on. I might need to make a few spaces for the lights because I've been a bit vague, but there you are. If I take my hand like that, so you know, there. Let's wipe that back a bit. Just make a bit of space for the light to go in. Okay, same up here. But we've still got these sort of dark shadows in between. So if I go in with the light now and say, okay, I've got light here and here. There's a bit. It kind of comes around there. There's a bit. Keep loading the brush. Okay, got some light here and across there. That's all light. Might have to go in with some other darks later on. Then the dark spaces that get left behind are those sort of what would have been the lines. They would have been the things I'd want to paint as lines. So that's a light shape there, and going into that. So if I put these in like this, there's definitely some lights across there. And what's left behind is effectively those lines of the there's a bit of light in there that sort of travels across a bit. They are bring a little bit into there. So this dark spaces left behind are what I would have done as lines to represent the lines in between the fingers. You see that? Now if I go in with my bright white, which is this one, I should be able to say, okay, there's some bright white there, there's some bright white on that thumb there, some bright white travelling across here and here. There's a little bit in that corner there. There's a bit on that knuckle there. And yeah, travelling across here a little bit. Yeah, edge of the arm into that. That'll do it. I could even go back with a few of those shadowy colours. just in a few places where they need them. But yeah, so it's only a few strokes. So if I go back in with my shadowy colour here, my reddy colour, I can reintroduce a bit of that in there. I can reintroduce a bit under here actually. That needs a bit. Yeah, but there's. Yeah, there isn't much more to it than that really. Let's use some of those blues, shall we? Just put some of those in. There's a bit of blue in here. Let's put a bit of that in. And then I have a, you know, effectively I have a hand showing up. There, so it's very quick. You know, oh, here we are. Yeah, we've got a few of these sort of knuckle shapes. So there's a bit red going across there. There's a bit here on the thumb. But yeah, I mean, I've worked into it too much now, and I keep moving my hand around as well, so that doesn't help. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
And now I have a hand. But what I did it all without doing lines. I didn't paint these lines in for the fingers. You see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. So it's the lights, it's putting the lights on that will define this idea of fingers or what have you. And then, you know, I could even go in with a bit of dark shadow in here now. There you are. There it is. So you know, that's a basic ground that I could continue to work on, put details in, this, that and the other. But I've started off thinking about it as lights on top of dark. And so with something like a hand, that really makes a difference.